Bonsoir et bienvenue pour un autre programme Tête à Tête. Aujourd'hui, nous avons l'honneur pour accueillir Dr. Tenzin dans nos programmes, un homme qui, sont la vie, démontrer résistance, guérison et connexion entre cultures, né dans l'Est Tibet et forcé pour sauver pendant l'invasion chinoise en 1959. C'est mais Dr. Tenzin n'a mené depuis quand réfugié l'Inde. Jusqu'à Kinvin, premier Tibétain dans Seychelles, arrivé en 1987. Nous accueillons encore une fois Dr. Tenzin dans nos programmes. Bonsoir, docteur.
Bonjour, Anna. Merci. Hein?
Comment ça va?
Moi, bien, merci.
Bon, bien, merci. Docteur, on exprime que vous êtes content que nous dialoguons tantôt et plus ou moins en anglais. Plus que 38 ans. Plus que 38 ans au Seychelles, docteur. What stopped you from being fluent in Creole?
Because tuji munda laku cause English, madam also included. So she like an English teacher at home.
Okay. So your teacher was an English teacher, not a Creole one.
Yeah, no, wife talks only in English, not in that Creole that much, you know. So.
All right. Okay. I made a short introduction about you coming to Seychelles from Tibet about 38 years ago. Maybe to start off, if you can share a little bit, how was it growing up in the eastern part of Tibet in the 1950s?
Yes, I'm actually from the eastern part of Tibet, Amdo. Actually, Tibet has three provinces, Amdo, Kham and Usang. So I am from the eastern part of Tibet. I grew up as, the nomad family with all a lot of cattle, horses about 100, 500 to 600 sheep, cattle by beef comes out like 200. Like that kind of life, so the shepherd goes with the shepherd throughout the year to the pastures, and they send every month mutton to the family. And then I used to play with my neighbors' children who are only Tibetans. There were no Chinese neighbors there that time, 1950s. Then life was very carefree. The river, the streams are clean. We used to just go and drink straight like. There's no boiling, no sterilization, no problem. And we used to get flowers, on the plain. The grass lawn is like carpet, yellow and white. When you run, the flowers used to get stuck in between the toes. And we used to play with the flowers, ride horses. By the age of 5 to 6 years, you will be on a horse without any saddle, catch, and you learn to ride a horse. So you have to ride a horse to look after the cattle. When you grow big, you have to be a man, you have to look after your tribe. So you have to be very strong. And then we are born Buddhists, so actually we are very peaceful. Always want to help people, save life, to be kind, generous. That is from the childhood, it is ingrained in our mind and in our character. That's how my father and mother brought me up.
Doctor, the Chinese invasion in March 1959 marked a pivotal moment in your life.
Yes.
How did that experience of fleeing to India impact your sense of identity and purpose?
Actually, from the Chinese invasion started in 1950s. My part of Tibet, Amdo, it started in 1956. My uncle, my father's brother-in-law, another 5 tribe leaders, they were called for a meeting and all of them are killed. So we had to leave our native and we came to Lhasa. In 1959, the Chinese actually, occupied Tibet, attacked the capital, and we had to flee towards India with some of my family members, my father, mother, my uncle, and one very interesting Lama, Alak Sangsang Rinpoche, very highly achieved. I never knew till he died. I didn't know he was highly achieved. He actually told, before dying, he wrote where he'll be born in Tibet and the family name also. She was such a nice Lama, Alak Sangsang, always smiling. I never saw him show dark face even one time. I didn't know he was such a highly achieved, It's just like always smiling, nothing makes him sad, always smiling, always positive.
But back then, did your people had an army to defend themselves?
The problem is Tibet was not the three provinces are not united to fight as a unified fighting force. Kham Amdo had their own local army, they fight on their own. Uzang don't come. When Uzang is at come, and those people are already gone as guerrillas on the mountains. So because the official army of the Tibetan government was no match for the Chinese. There were thousands and thousands of Chinese, and Tibetans hardly had maybe 20, 30,000.
But there is still debating questions about if really Tibet was a province of China or was a country on its own. What do you have to say?
Interesting. Look, up to 1950, Tibet was a separate nation. Their own history, their own system of government. No other people have conquered Tibet. Tibet rule their own country. They have their own currency, own language, own type of dress, own type of food. Completely, it's got all the necessary things required to be an independent nation. So after 1950, when the Chinese took over, so from 1950 up to now, as it is, Tibet is in China.
So you flee to India,
Yeah.
and this is where your life began to take another turn.
Yes, yes.
Especially when it comes to your education. Can you talk about maybe the challenges you faced as a Tibetan refugee there? What really happened back then?
See, because in Tibet, like I no need to study. It's only to ride a horse, take a gun and save your thing. But after coming to India, we had to learn something. Then I entered school at quite an old age, 7, 8 years old. So I started late. Then in the Tibetan settlement, the Indian government made settlements in Karnataka state for Tibetans. And one Polish lady, Uma Devi, she sponsored all those promoting Tibetan young students scholarship to go to Indian schools in Madras. So I was chosen as another one, 2 of us. After us, another 5, 6, like that, Then we studied in Indian school, Madras. Then, the Staines High School in Utti, Kunur, beautiful. Then in Mysore, PUC, A level. Then Bangalore, I studied in BSU Part 1 and 2 as a BSc student. And 1973 around, I got a place in the medical college in Government India. So from 1980, I finished my medical graduation from Bellary Medical College, Karnataka.
And your family stayed there as well? They never moved back to Tibet?
No, it was not possible to go. Not only my family, all the Tibetans who has escaped from Tibet, irrespective of their profession in Tibet, all are farmers. They had to make a living. All have become farmers. They had to till their land, grow crops, sell and make their livelihood.
And after that, choosing medicine as your profession, how did your Tibetan background influence your approach to healthcare?
This is an interesting thing. My mother, when I was a small boy, used to say, when you grow, you must become a doctor and help people and save life. That has, put a lot of thing into my brain. So I wanted to become a doctor. So this is what actually I strived hard from high school to A level. Just, worked hard to get a medical seat to fulfill my
Do you have
mother.
other siblings?
Yes, I got 2 children. I got a boy.
No,
Jigme.
siblings in terms of your brothers and sisters.
No,
Do you
I
have?
am the only child of my family, parents.
Okay. After practicing medicine in India, what circumstances brought you in Seychelles in August 1987?
Interestingly, I was in a private hospital, Parsi General Hospital in Bombay. One of my patients was from Seychelles, Woodwardia family, old lady. My boss told me to look after this lady, and for 3 months I looked after, and she got all right. The fractured hip, she got all right, and before going, she asked me, "You like to come to Seychelles?" I was tired of Bombay life, I said, yes. She gave me the address. I wrote to the Ministry of Health, Seychelles, and after 6 months, I got a place in Seychelles. I came in '87.
Where did you start?
First, few months I started in casualty. After that, I went to Ansbalo Clinic. After 6 years, no, after 12 years at Ansbalo, then I went to Ans Royal, 6 years. Then after that, in 1999, I joined Dr. Jeevan in private practice till I got the heart attack in 1920.
We will talk a little bit more about this.
Yeah.
But we know that you are married to a Seychellois and you have 2 kids. How did this cross-cultural marriage happen for you, and maybe what is the experience from that?
See, this is the events based on historical upheavals forced me to come from Himalayas to the ocean here. If I wait for a Tibetan woman to come, I will never marry. I will just go dead. So I said, I have to have my line maintained. So somehow I met my wife, and we got officially married in 1993, and I got 2 children. Both are working in the government hospital.
Vous sentiez un Seychellois là?
Oui. Now I am completely intertwined with Seychelles life. People love me, I love them. Now I am alive today because of Seychelles people's love.
Doctor, your 2 kids, they are both doctors.
Yes.
Have you had any influence on them?
Well, my mother's influence, to make a doctor will be very helpful to people. So I used to tell my children, choose our medical career. You can help people. You can have your life as well as you can help a lot of people. That is a very beneficial profession to follow. So I used to tell stories to my son, about the usefulness of helping other people, and then some of the old mythological stories about Tibet. So, and then Greek history is all that I talk to him. He's very much interested in Greek mythology and all that,
I understand that you are presently writing a book entitled First Ever Tibetan in Seychelles. What inspired you to document your life journey in this memoir?
Well, I want to write this book as a wandering person from Himalayas in the Indian Ocean. When I am no more there, the people from my place, they should know that somebody from that place has come to this island and made a life, a useful citizen. So I want to encourage my other young Tibetans they also want to be educated, to be equal to anybody in the world, because I have proved to them they can be like anybody else, only hard work and determination.
And you also mention in your writings about rainbow bodies and living body at will in your contents. Could you explain this aspect of Tibetan spiritual beliefs and its significance in your life?
Interesting, because this is quite a deep philosophy in Tibetan beliefs, mystic and mystery. Because in Tibet, those saints, they go on doing meditation years and decades, and some of those holy people, when they die, the body melts into a light energy, and you can find only nail and hair. This is called rainbow body, because our body is formed of 5 elements like earth, fire, water, wind and space, made of these 5 elements. So these saints have achieved full control over this element. They can dematerialize this physical body into light and energy, and they disappear. This is a very frequent happening in Tibet in the past, and they can actually choose to finish life at will. So when the Chinese overtook Tibet, there are quite a number of stories where the Chinese want to kill all the Buddhist monks, and you have been, like cheating the people, all that. Some of them, they just go off like they take off their life. Incidents are there, escaped from Tibet. They tell the story. 2 incidents I tell you. One in Western Tibet, there is a holy Lama, and the Chinese said, tomorrow morning we are going to kill you. Today you enjoy yourself. Morning they called all the village, they put a white bed sheet and said, okay, now before we finish you, you can pray or do whatever you want. He just stood for 5-10 minutes and he's gone, he's dead. Then another one in eastern Tibet it happened, I forgot that name. That Tulku, he was actually caught by the Chinese and put on a horse to take for, the shooting to kill. In the morning when they're crossing a plain, a lot of shepherds are waiting, animals there. Then the Chinese soldiers who are guarding him wanted to have a little rest tea. Then suddenly a wind whirl like that came, and the Lama sat in the whirlpool and he was singing something. He just disappeared into the whirlpool and disappeared in front of all the people. There are a lot of people who has achieved this because their whole life is spent in this mental powers kind of practice.
Do you practice some of these spiritual beliefs yourself?
I am very, very low in that kind of intellectual, but do prayers. Like your mind should be good. Do good things and you will not get anything bad even after your death.
Doctor, you mentioned earlier that you had a heart attack, and this is also in your book. It happened in 2022. Can you talk a little bit about this for us?
What happened is, this was in 2022. This thing, before this thing happening, it suddenly happened, one morning I started sweating. And I have to mention this. I have taken all the vaccines for COVID, all the 3 vaccines. Before this heart attack, one day I said, I must check my heart, what to do. So I said, let me walk. From Anslamosh, I walked up to Ponlage airport on my foot and I didn't get any problem. Then suddenly one day after some time, one morning, in the clinic, I start sweating and I got a massive, my blood pressure started falling. Dr. Jivan's clinic, Dr. Jivan then sent me to hospital for admission. Then I stayed in hospital for 1 month. After that, the medical board and Seychelles Ministry of Health, they sent me to Lahore Union for treatment.
So you've been blessed.
I am very blessed. I am alive today because of this, the people and government of Seychelles who actually saved my life. So whatever life remaining, I wish I can some way help any people come across in my life.
Doctor, interesting, you were talking about this COVID vaccine. There's a lot of concern out there when people see the rising death toll increasing, like we said, especially where heart attack, stroke is concerned. Do you believe that there is a relationship between the COVID vaccine and this happening?
Yes, Anna, because I never had any medical issues before. I was quite fit and I had taken all the vaccines, and now those people who have produced the vaccine, they accept, yes, COVID vaccine came from clots. So we are doing something which is going to damage yourself. So we have to be very careful about this vaccine.
But what do we do to stop those blood clots? Do you have any idea how we can control this?
First thing, I hope I'm not going beyond my borders, but don't take all those kind of vaccinations because it's play with your clotting factor.
But it's already there now.
Now the vaccine should not be taken. No more vaccinations. If you get COVID, you get it. You'll overcome. Don't take any vaccines. If you had an issue of like clot problem, then you have to take a regular little bit of blood thinning, like aspirin.
Like aspirin?
Yeah, aspirin, a little bit,
So you would advise people to start on that?
If those people who had an episode of clot, and not everybody don't need to take that.
But how would you know, doctor? Because you just hear somebody dies and they don't know what has happened.
Usually there will be some symptoms, like the calf muscle become very painful, tender, and then they do the, sonography and they find clot. Once you have it, you have to be on that medication. Otherwise, no.
But like in your in what happened to you is just you just felt sick suddenly and then it happened.
It's a sudden attack, because I was not on any other medication for heart at all. It was a very sudden attack. So only thing is, if you had an episode of some blood clot problem, pulmonary embolism or some deep vein thrombosis, you should take a prophylactic aspirin small dose every time. But other people, no, we don't need to take, no need to stress your heart.
Doctor, you have not completed your book. Why?
Because I have to finish that part going back to Tibet. When I come back from Tibet, then I will publish it.
So we will have another interview with you.
Oh yes.
You want to see the life, how it is there.
Oh yes, change, from time I was born after 65 years, what is the change in people's life, how the country is, that will be interesting, and I'll be very grateful if you can have me on your show when I come back.
Of course, of course. After documenting your remarkable journey across continents and cultures, what main message or wisdom do you hope readers will take away from your story, Doctor?
I think wherever you go, there are certain human values. Any country, any race, any religion value, that is kindness, helpful, love, friendship. This knows no boundaries. Anywhere you go, if you are very kind, you are helpful, you do good things, you will adjust very well in any country you go. First of all, what is the purpose of this life? To be happy yourself, you have to make other people also happy. How to make other people happy? You are very kind, very generous, helpful, no?
Docteur Tenzin, merci beaucoup pour avec nous tantôt pour partager ou parcours la vie comme premier Tibétain ici Seychelles. Nous souhaitons qu'au voyage pour retourner au pays, il y avait un qui avait amené beaucoup de mémoire, qui avait capable d'amener beaucoup de bonheur aussi pour.
Anna, merci beaucoup pour prendre au programme. And when I come back, definitely I will give you some story.
Thank you.
Merci
and
beaucoup.
Moi souhaite que la santé y retourne 100%.
Yes, I'm just like normal. And on your show, I want to thank the government, the people of Seychelles for being so kind to me, saving my life. Actually speaking, they have done everything. So I'm very grateful to the people of Seychelles, their love. So whatever I can give to these people, I will do.
Merci aussi pour tout ça qu'on fait pour Seychelles.
Yeah, merci beaucoup, Anna. Thank you very much.
Merci pour qu'on suive nos programmes tantôt. Moi, j'espère qu'on est content pour qu'on ait un petit peu parcours Dr. Tenzin, un docteur qui est très populaire parmi nos nations. Merci et bonne continuation avec SBC jusqu'à la prochaine fois. Bonsoir.